Chicago Bears Now is presented by our good friends Manscaped. When you go to manscaped.com and use promo code BEARS20, you can get 20% off plus free shipping at checkout. Do not miss this deal today. Manscaped.com, BEARS20 is your promo code. On today's episode of Chicago Bears Now, let's take a way too early look at the 53-man roster for the upcoming season. We'll do projections for every position, and we will add it up to 53. And the reason I wanted to do this now is, just think about it, right? NFL draft is in the books. Free agency, it's ongoing, but a lot of the top players have signed. Not a ton of movement right now. And when you think about it, the Bears roster is probably 95 to 98% set at this point. Maybe they cut a guy here, maybe they sign a guy there, but at the end of the day, I would say at least 50 of their 53 are already on their 90-man roster. So we'll take a look at it, and I'll give my way too early projections here. Let's start with quarterbacks, what everybody wants to know. I'm only going to carry two. Maybe this is controversial, but this is kind of where I'm at. Andy Dalton, he'll be your week one starter. Justin Fields, he's obviously the future. He'll take over probably at some point this season, maybe sooner than we think. I think Nick Foles gets traded or gets cut. Look, I just don't know what his value is as your third-string quarterback. If you never signed Andy Dalton, you would just go Foles in Fields. But now that you signed Dalton to $10+ million, having Nick Foles as your third quarterback is pointless. Now, I think he has value in offseason workouts. I think he has value in training camp with your young quarterback of Justin Fields. Those things are valuable, but to carry two vets on your 53-man roster in Dalton and Foles, where's the value in that? If I'm the Bears, I'm hoping to find a trade partner during training camp if an injury pops up around the league, or I'll just cut them and save the $4 million and move on at the end of the day. So what do you guys think? Will Nick Foles be on the Bears Week 1 roster? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'm going to type my in for no. I would rather carry an extra player, an extra depth piece at another position than to carry two veteran quarterbacks plus Justin Fields. So I'm only going to keep two, and then I'll just verbally mention this, no practice squad projections today, but I do think they will bring in a third quarterback to be on the practice squad, someone young, maybe an undrafted free agent. Running backs now, I'm going to carry four. David Montgomery's your starter. You've got kind of your Thunder and Lightning, Damian Williams and Tariq Cohen. They'll play different roles as some of your depth running backs there. And then I think Khalil Herbert's your fourth back. I think he can play some, get some touches out of the backfield, but I think primarily he's your Cordero Patterson replacement. He can do some gadget stuff. He can be your kick returner. Maybe he returns punts as well if they don't want Cohen or someone else like Daz Newsome to play that role. I think Khalil Herbert makes this team, which means Artavis Pierce, Ryan Nall, C.J. Maribel, the rookie UDFA, they all get cut, with one or two of those guys probably landing on the practice squad. Subscribe to Chicago Bears Now. We've got the latest news, rumors, and a whole lot more on deck every single day here on this channel. We're the fastest growing channel on YouTube for the Chicago Bears. Join in the fun. You've got Justin Fields. The excitement is palpable, and we're going to keep cranking out videos just for you guys. Share the link below, youtube.com/BearsNow with all your Bears friends. And if you're watching right now and haven't subbed yet, just hit that big red button. Let's go wide receiver here. Obviously, we're going offense to defense on this 53-man roster projection. The top two are obvious, Allen Robinson, Darnell Mooney. Look, if Anthony Miller's on your roster after training camp, he's probably making the final roster. So I've got him as your starting slot. Damiere Byrd, Marquise Goodwin, Daz Newsome. I'm going to go speed, baby. Look, Javon Wims, Riley Ridley, they've had chances, guys. I know they offer a little bit of a different look stylistically than some of those backups there, but they brought in all this speed for a reason. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe they choose between a Damiere Byrd and Marquise Goodwin, cut the other guy, and then keep either Ridley or Wims, but look, Javon Wims proved last year he's undisciplined and inconsistent. Riley Ridley can't get on the field as it is. I'll just keep the speed guy in Goodwin and or Byrd, and then they have special teams value as well. So that's kind of where I'm at. 6 receivers make the roster, Wims and Ridley. Sayonara to those two guys. Pick one of these two. Maybe it comes down to these two for the final wide receiver spot. Type MG for Marquise Goodwin. Type DB for Damiere Byrd. I'm keeping both on this roster projection, but that could certainly change as we get into some offseason workouts and camps and all that good stuff. MG for Goodwin or DB for Damiere Byrd. Tight ends now. I'm going to go 4. Last year they carried 4 and it surprised me, but They did it last year, so I'm going to go 4 this year. Cole Kmet, Jimmy Graham, assuming Graham's on the roster still. J.P. Holtz, and then Jester Horsted is kind of your 4th guy. He can play a little bit of receiver as well, so I think he gets the nod over a guy like Darian Clark, who would get cut and then possibly land on the practice squad. But Graham and Kmet would be your 1-2 punch there. Holtz and Horsted is kind of your depth type of blocking tight ends as well. Speaking of Jimmy Graham, you can save million if you cut him. What do you think? Should they keep him? Should they cut him? Type K for keep him. Type C for cut. Look, I don't mind keeping him. I think $10 million against the cap is too much, but if you're not really going to add much more in free agency anyway, then I suppose no big deal on that front. Maybe they'll restructure him. That's probably what I would prefer, but K for keep or C for cut. Let's go to the big bullies up front, the offensive line. I think your starters are somewhat clear right now if they are indeed going to play Teven Jenkins at left tackle. I think it goes Jenkins, Whitehair, Mustipher, Daniels, and Affetti from left to right. And then your depth pieces there are Elijah Wilkinson, Arlington Hambright. I opted with him over Lachavious Simmons, both 7th-round picks from last year. Alex Bars, who played well last year. And then Larry Borum, the rookie out of Missouri. I think he can be your swing tackle as a rookie. So 9 offensive linemen. That's where I land for the big bullies. We are presented by Manscaped, and we love Manscaped because the brand new Lawnmower 4.0, it is out. Improved skin-safe shaving technology. It's got a longer battery life, a wireless charging system, and the biggest change from the Lawnmower 4.0 in comparison to the 3.0, 4 adjustable guards. So you don't have to go completely clean shaved down there. You can leave a landing strip. You can leave a 5 o'clock shadow. Some of your ladies, they don't like it too clean. It's a little too weird. They want a little bit of stubble, if you will. Go to manscaped.com. Use our promo code BEARS20 to get this discount. 20% off. Pretty notable difference there from full price down to $71.99. That may sound like a lot. Great deal. This product is going to last you years. I had the 3.0 for a couple of years, and it's still working at a high level. My 4.0 is in the mail. Can't wait to unveil it for the first time. Manscaped.com. Use promo code BEARS20. That link will be in the comments and in the description. All right, let's go defense here, the defensive line. I think this one's actually pretty simple. It's going to be 5 or 6. The 7th round, Kairos Tonga, he'll be on the edge there, but I think they value him as a backup nose tackle. Akeem Hicks, Eddie Goldman comes back this year. I think he'll help a ton. Bilal Nichols improved a ton last year. You signed Angelo Blackson. Mario Edwards Jr. played pretty well. Now remember with him, he has a 2-game suspension, so someone will be on the roster the first couple of weeks in favor of him. So keep that in mind. I didn't build this show that way today, but he will not be on the opening day roster technically, so someone else will be probably at another position. But those 6 guys make it for the defensive line. If you're excited to have Eddie Goldman back, remember, opted out for COVID last year, type me in the comments. You can spam it more than once. I'm fired up. I think they really missed him last year, especially their run defense. I think he'll make a big difference, and it may have been a win-win. Bilal Nichols really improved this past year without Eddie Goldman. Now imagine those guys lining up next to Akeem Hicks. Pretty exciting stuff. Type me if you're happy to have him back. Linebackers now, and I'm including, the edge guys and the off-ball linebackers. Your edge guys, obviously, Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn. Jeremiah Atachu, who you signed this offseason. Travis Gibson, your 4th-round pick from last year, or 5th-round pick, actually. Charles Snowden, UDFA out of Virginia, 6'7", 240. Good athlete. I like him a lot. And then your inside linebackers, Roquan Smith, Danny Trevathan, Christian Jones, Joel Iggy, as they call him there. That's your inside rotation. But I have Snowden making it as a UDFA. I think he's got real potential in the NFL. Obviously, you look at this, you need Robert Quinn to contribute. A lot of you guys are like, oh, why don't they just cut him? Well, his contract's not cuttable until next year. So you're stuck with him for this year. They gave him $30 million guaranteed. He ate a lot of it last year, but this year he's got a lot more. So you're stuck with him. You got him this year. You need contributions from Robert Quinn in 2021. I'm not saying he's got to be 10-sack Robert Quinn, but can he give you 5 or 6? He was bad last year. He's got to be a better player in 2021. There was question marks about his foot. Maybe that's fully healed, and he plays a lot better. Predict it for me. Will Robert Quinn bounce back in 2021? Type 1 for yes. Type 2 for no. I'm going to be optimistic and say yes. He can't be any worse, right? Like, he was a detriment this past season because he's never been a great run stopper. So if he's not getting after the quarterback, not very valuable. I'm going to type my 1 for yes. Let's go to the cornerbacks now. We'll get to safeties in just a second. I'm going to carry 5. Now, remember, when I mentioned Mario Edwards, I think with his 2-game suspension, you could see a 6th corner make it early on, and then they'll cut someone down after that. We'll have to wait and see. Jalen Johnson, Desmond Trufant, those are your outside corners unless you sign someone. Duke Shelley at nickel. I think he'll compete with Thomas Graham Jr., the rookie out of Oregon. One of those guys, as of now, is probably your nickel. And then Kendall Vilder, the second-year player out of Georgia Southern this past season. 5 corners, you could keep Artie Burns, you could keep Trey Roberson if you want a 6th corner, but I'm going to go with 5 for now. I wouldn't mind carrying 6, though, because Trufant and Johnson do have injury concerns. Let's go safety now. Eddie Jackson, Tashawn Gibson, those are your starters, free and strong safety. Deion Bush, he'll play that 3rd safety role like he has the past couple of years. You got DeAndre Houston-Carson and Jordan Lucas rounding things out, mostly major special teams contributors. Now, you could get by with carrying 4, but if they're not going to bring back Sherrick McManus, their best special teams player, you got to carry Jordan Lucas, who's been a really good special teams player in the past. He opted out last year for COVID as well. I think he's one of your top specialists this year, and I think he makes the roster. Ultimately, a big way for this defense to get closer to what it was in 2018, you need Eddie Jackson to bounce back. I think Sean Desai will help him play better this upcoming season. I think Chuck Pagano got a little bit stale with his scheme. Mix a couple of things up, do some more disguises, and I think Eddie Jackson will be a more impactful player in 2021. Now, who will be the better safety? Because I think last year it was actually Tashawn Gibson. Type EJ for Eddie Jackson, TG for Tashawn Gibson. Get your votes in on this one. I'm going to go EJ. I think they'll both be good. I think Jackson bounces back. You certainly need him to. You paid him to be an all-pro caliber safety, but hopefully it happens here in 2021. And then the specialist, no surprise, Cairo Santos is your kicker, Pat O'Donnell is your punter, and then Patrick Scale is your long snapper. Same unit from this past year. Obviously, Eddie Pinheiro has been cut and moved on. I think he had a tryout recently. Hopefully he lands somewhere. But Santos was awesome last year, so that contract extension was well-deserved. Grade my super early 53-man roster projection. We'll do this, 2-3 more times, Producer Brett? Certainly things will change as we get through minicamps and training camp. Injuries pop up, as you guys know. A, B, C, D, or F. Go ahead and grade my way too early 53-man roster projection.